We are here at Audio In Studios today, and I am so excited to be chatting with the two and only Darling and Debonair, Thomas Kessinger, Claire Probst, my friends. Hello.
Thank you.
Yay. Oh, I'm so excited. So to set the stage is a self-contained conversation. You guys, Darling and Debonair, are here at Audio In Studios today to do some recording, and very exciting. How are you guys feeling?
You know how I'm feeling. You go for it.
I feel so good. I feel ready. I feel excited that we are doing us.
Yeah.
In our way. I'm excited to do it our way.
I'm kind of thinking in terms of chronology, so the first kind of group of questions that I'm interested in hearing from you guys about is where this magical love of music comes from for each of you to come to this, right? Because we can look at it from the standpoint of, oh, well, yeah, so-and-so's in the studio, and so-and-so, and you guys are in the studio, and it's a kind of like a thing everybody, no, it takes years and years and years and years of preparation and dedication and love from your heart and practice to get to the point where you all are prepared as you are today to embark upon this recording. Thomas, talk a little bit about your earliest memories of music and how you got started and what clicked for you.
Yeah, I think some of my earliest memories of music were almost they're like synesthetic, I think, in terms of, I don't know, driving to swim practice as a little kid. I remember listening to the radio, and there was this song that came on that must have been like an electronic dance kind of song. But my brain just couldn't handle all the information, and so instead of like even identifying it as music, or a genre, I just called it line music, because everything felt so angular and like programmed, and I don't know.
Right.
And so I think that's one of my earliest memories of just like consciously consuming music and thinking like, wow, this is different, and this is doing something to my brain in an interesting way that like maybe I haven't experienced before. So yeah, and then besides that, like what I've been thinking about a lot recently is music and technology, and how the tech almost brought me into it in a way. I mean, I discovered a guitar when I was about 12 years old, but before that, I had some weird tiny record player from who knows where, right? And I remember sitting there with some comedian talking and just like going back and forth on the record and like scratching the record almost, and you know, I was familiar with those kinds of things, and so but then at the same time just like watching this needle and this record spin and spin and spin and just being so entranced by it, I think, so calming. So I don't know, there's like never a moment in my life where I don't remember thinking about music. It just all kind of came at once.
Interesting. So did you get started as a musician soon after having some of these sort of aha moments?
Well, I think, yeah. So I found a guitar when I was about 12 years old, and before that, I was grateful to have gone to a school that prioritized music, and so I had a chance to, you know, do the recorder. I had a chance to do choir and sing with a group of people, and you know, that's amazing, you know, when you get to kind of experience singing in a choir like that. And then I moved into the double bass, I think right before I picked up a guitar. So I think my parents really wanted me to play music, and they put me in all those places. And so, yeah, it kind of was coming at all directions. But then once I found the guitar at 12 years old, and just being alive, even at 12 years old, you're like, what is going on? And so it was the most natural way for me to process what was going on around me. Yeah, it was just through music.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What about you, Claire?
I feel like music was always just there. My mom always played music in our house, and I used to kind of strongly encourage my family members to watch me perform.
Oh, yeah.
I would do like little talent shows, and
Nice.
we had these tapes of like oldies hits, and I just loved music always.
Was there a group or a song?
Like
you remember
oldie,
sticking
like
out?
old soul,
Really?
and just oldies on the radio. I mean, your options were very limited in the early '90s of what you had to listen to, so it was oldies hits. That was what my mom listened to. She couldn't stand anything else, so that was it.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
How does that experience for both of you influence what you all are doing now? Because it's interesting, Thomas, you talked about a really technological sound and something that really connected and got your attention early.
Mm-hmm.
And here you are blending your beautiful voices with just an acoustic guitar. And I say just, but of course, being a guitar player myself, I have such great appreciation for the orchestra under your fingers of a guitar, Thomas. But talk about you guys coming together, and I'm sure that y'all have played lots of styles of music with lots of different people to get to this point. Talk about the beauty of your togetherness as musicians, and how your earlier experiences, whether it's way back or maybe some more contemporary experiences that you've had in music, have influenced you in Darling and Debonair.
I'll go.
Okay.
I feel like I actually haven't played a whole lot of different kinds of music. I kind of stuck with the style that I so love and that is dear to me. And when Thomas and I started making music, that was an immediate connection, is that he's got that old funky soul sound.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
that's money. That's peanut butter and honey. And so, you know, that's been 13 years now, I think.
Is it really?
So
That's really
It's
cool.
pretty wild.
kind of found a golden ticket and was
Right.
like, cool. I'm
Let's ride
gonna hang in
this.
these waters. I like it just fine.
Yeah, it's funny when you said it. You know, I'm sure you play with countless other people, and you know, yeah, I play with some other people, but it's not like I haven't played in too many other groups. And I think when it comes down to songwriting, Claire's the only person I've really sat down in a room and just kind of gone on that ride together, right? And so, yeah, I think we found, you know, pretty early on that we enjoyed being around each other. We're very supportive of one another, and that comes through in our music. Kind of, just, I think it's almost like we sound related in many ways because our voices are complementary of one another, and it was pretty early on that we're like, wow, when we sing together, this is pretty damn cathartic. Like, maybe we should keep doing this. And so that's all I kind of needed, was that like release of like, you were helping me feel all the things that like I need to get out. And so it was, you know, really early on that we're like, I think this makes sense to make music together. So
Yeah, you definitely helped me translate. I'm not an instrumentalist. I don't play an instrument, and so Thomas helps get all those ideas out of my head and really brings them to life. I really don't think I could be doing a whole lot of this without him. He's like that. Yeah, we help each other so much that way. That's like part of our dynamic.
You would always think too, like everyone says things like, you know, a great band is the sum of its parts, and it sounds so much better, or sounds so much better than the sum of its parts.
Right.
And you know, as much as I think like I can go do this alone, I just know that we work so much better together. It takes it to a different level. That I'm really excited that we were getting to be able to do this today, because it's the first time that we've really just like sat down and been like, you know what, this is the music that we do. This is what we know, and we can try to overcomplicate it, but maybe that doesn't make sense for the songs. Maybe let someone else, you know, take the songs and go overcomplicate them, but like, for some reason, it's just not. That's
what
we
music
operate.
licensing is for.
There you go.
We can pay you.
Yeah, fantastic.
In a
Let's do
different
that.
direction. Talk about this group of songs, and are these all newer songs, or are there some older songs that you guys have have loved and stuck by, or what's your lineup of material today looking like, and how are you feeling about it?
It's a mix, I think,
Yeah.
of older songs that we've been playing for a very long time, and some newer songs sprinkled in. Just songs that we feel like we're ready to do in this style, and some we already have different versions of, but
That's cool.
yeah, all original material.
Yeah.
We're not doing covers here.
But we're definitely focusing on tunes that we have written together over the past few years, I would say. I mean, there's older songs, you know, that I think the oldest song is over like 12 years old now, but it's just a really fun song to sing together, and so it's kind of fun to rediscover that music. But I think, you know, these group of songs, for me, is really owning the title of songwriter, not just a singer-songwriter. And so that's, if I could do one thing the rest of my life, you know, it would be songwriting. I think there's something that's really fantastic that comes through performance. I certainly get a lot of, you know, what I need, I guess, from the universe in terms of audio engineering, but there's something that's so magical about songwriting where you feel like, you know, you're just facilitating this thing into being, that's so fun and inspiring and delightful. It energizes me. And so it's about like, hey, I think we did this a couple times, you know, and it felt really good when we were writing it.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can capture that feeling in the studio.
That's really cool. Well, and it occurs to me that what for some may seem like a fine distinction between singer-songwriter and songwriter, and I received that observation as somebody who knows that I'm a born entertainer. And so a big part of my motivation to write a song is so that I have something to do, so that I can get up, which I just want to get up on stage.
Yeah.
But
totally makes
but
sense.
of course, as I've worked over years at songwriting and written some terrible songs and recognized them for what they are, right?
We've all got some doozies.
Yep.
Yeah, sure. But I really like that distinction, and I think that that the focus on the song and making the song as complete as it can be without considering anything else first is an unique perspective for sure.
Yeah.
Now, do you guys write regularly? Do you line out certain times? Do you say, you know, I'm not really feeling it right now, and it might be 3 months before I'm feeling it? Or do you try to stay disciplined about regular time getting together? Or how does that work for you guys, Claire?
I am very I follow the flow of creativity. If it's not happening, forcing it is not going to work for me.
Right.
So, we pick things up and put things down, and everything happens in its own time for me. I think Thomas is very much about scheduling and making things happen, which is great. That's how we get things done in a reasonable manner, and that's what makes us a powerful team. Is that we taper each other that way, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Thoughts?
Yeah, I think we definitely, you know, push and pull each other, kind of in balancing each other out in a way. Back, you know, kind of going back to that idea of owning the title of a songwriter. I think I've started to get more comfortable saying, okay, you know, I'm always trying to practice, right, and probably always editing songs. But what I'm getting more comfortable with nowadays is understanding, like Claire is saying, is like if the feeling's not there, like maybe we don't need to write something today. We can do something else that's productive. And so what I've found is that I've actually just been moving. It's almost like changing with the seasons, you know. So you know, for 3 months, maybe we'll be sitting down 4 or 5 nights a week almost and writing and just, you know, playing and, you know, hanging out, right, and talking about life and all those things. And then there are periods of time where we're just rehearsing, or periods of time where we're really just trying to go out and build a network of people and see what else is happening in Salt Lake.
Right.
And it's so like, it comes in phases, it comes in waves. And I think it used to scare me, you know,
When it went away.
When it went away.
It's never coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so funny though.
Just getting more comfortable with that.
Because we've got like, we have songs that we have been trying to work on and trying to finish for about a year, and then we have 4 new songs that came out of nowhere that are almost done. And so
You're finding how that works.
just follow the flow, follow where the energy's going, and we are working away to get things done.
That's cool. What are your plans once you have this song cycle finished here in the studio?
Time off.
Time off.
Vacation.
Nice. I love it.
Yes.
Good for you.
I mean, that's what I should be doing, definitely. It's always hard to turn that part of my brain off. But I think what I've learned this past year is it's important to take some time off, and I will. But then there's so much that needs to be done in terms of everyone can go into a studio and write some songs and record them. And so what really makes you special as an artist is connecting that work with an audience, right? And creating value for that audience. And so how you do that changes seemingly every day.
Yeah, are you guys doing a big push to play live or market online? Obviously now with social media, there's the possibility that you could have a large audience and arguably a career from scratch just on social media. Is that a focus for you guys, or you want to go out and play? You gonna get in the van and play Cincinnati, or what's the thought?
Cincinnati.
I mean, among other places.
Nothing wrong with Cincinnati, yeah. For me, it's all the above, and just making sure that we know why we're doing something rather than just going out and doing it. I would like to continue to make interesting pieces of media, which I think are helpful to connect with larger audiences. I love playing for people, and Salt Lake can be a great place to do that, but it can also be really difficult to do that. And then jumping in a van is also hard because we're so geographically isolated.
Yeah, the West,
So-
it's different than if you're anywhere on the East Coast. You can kind of do an out and back that's pretty efficient. So it's
We'll definitely be
different.
playing out and about and doing as much as we can, but I think I'll be focusing on trying to figure out how to connect with an audience online.
Yeah, I'm not really trying to push us in a certain direction. I'm open to all of those things happening, and I will accept them as they come, and we're just keeping on.
Sure.
Local stuff is my main focus, though.
Well, yeah, I mean, because we also run a studio called Better Understanding Studios, and so that's just a place that we are always, I don't want to say it's on the back burner, but it's always just holding a space for ourselves to do whatever we need to, whether it's to invite other artists over or to do writing. And so I guess I'm agreeing with Claire in saying that like a local focus is important, because we got to find this support, locally, and then you could leverage that foundation to go further. But I am like trying to find, my people here
Keep
in
the
Oh,
the
home
city.
fires burning.
Yes.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
So the story of you guys being here at Audio Inn today is very cool and very exciting, and I think in some ways appropriate for our COVID times where our lives have been changed, and a lot of time, the number of shows that I've been to where people are saying, hey, thanks for being here and paying the ticket price, also chuck a buck if you want, because we're trying to go in the studio, right? Everybody's either just finished in the studio or trying to get in. And you guys have a really interesting and cool story behind how you got here, and I'd love for you to tell folks about it.
So it all came to be.
I love it.
We have a history here, so it's
I knew this was going to
it's
be good.
complicated.
It all came to be with a grant from Salt Lake City Arts Council. That's where we're getting the funding to actually show up here. But yeah, there's a lot going on leading up to that. So the Salt Lake City Arts Council, they announced the grant, and it was focused on supporting BIPOC communities. And so I reached out to Eric Lowe, who owns this studio, and I was just trying to support the other creatives in my community and saying, hey, there's a lot of money up for grabs. I would love to help you write a grant. And if you have anything that you're thinking, or if you want to buy gear or whatever, that seems pretty open-ended, and they just want to support you. So Eric came by, and we worked on his grant, and we got some money for Audio Inn. And then I kind of thought like, well, what if we went in and tried to ask for some grant money for Darling Debonair and then have the focus of that money being spent at Eric's studio? So it all just kind of came about really fast. And it was easy, right? Because it's like just trying to extend a little bit of help, sit down with Eric, who I always appreciate talking with because he's a force of nature. And yeah, to see all the cool things that have happened because of it, and to sit here now, I don't know, it's kind of amazing.
It's really cool.
The ripple effect of this guy really, from Thomas being like, hey, artists, there's this grant.
Right.
I will help you write your proposal, and let's try and get some funding. And man, he just nailed it. Eric's got accepted, we got accepted, our studio got a little.
Yeah, a couple other
yeah, a couple other artists. So this guy really just made a big wave, and we are all benefiting from the ripple of that, and it's really phenomenal.
It is phenomenal, and the broadened definition of the music business through this financing of today and of this particular recording experience strikes me as, of course, we all are familiar on some level with grant writing and with how grants can change things for creative people since way back, and yet it feels to me like this is very now, in the sense that Salt Lake Arts Council, kudos to you all
thank you very much.
for being there, not only for artists and creatives of color, but folks who are creating community as you all are. And it feels really cool.
No,
and
certainly
and
props. Yeah, props to Salt Lake City for organizing a grant like this, and it does speak to the excitement, I think, that exists in Salt Lake City for the arts. But there's just something that is just because Salt Lake is the way it is, whether it's a history or a geography thing, but there's all these little disparate pockets of creatives in Salt Lake. And I think what's really cool about the grant money, and then also inviting all the artists to come to the studio and work on their grants, is it is about kind of focusing those energies into a couple different channels, right? And so it starts to look a little bit more coherent, that we have an arts community in Salt Lake, and not just a lot of talented artists, because I think everyone knows there's plenty of talented artists in Salt Lake, but I think what's hard to find sometimes is like, where do I belong in this community? And so props to Salt Lake City Arts Council for sure.
Yeah, well, and props to you, Thomas, for your work on behalf of other artists, because I agree with you, and I've had this conversation specifically in the music community a great deal, but I know that the feeling exists outside of just people who are playing rock and roll or whatever, but that natural desire for community and some disappointment that maybe we don't have a little more cohesive presence or scene here in Salt Lake. But of course, it's like, who do you elect to be responsible for that committee kind of thing? It's like, oh, well, there's not a body of so we just gotta like make this up. Making it up as we go along. Wow, here we are.
Support our other friends.
Yeah, so great. That's really cool. Well, I know that we could chat and chat, but you guys have beautiful, important work to do today, so I don't want to belabor this too much, but on behalf of everybody watching, I want to wish you all the very best for a lovely day today as you embark upon a journey that I know that you all have worked very hard and for a long time, and I, for one, feel very privileged to be here, and the energy to you all for not only for a great day today, but to share this joyful music in the community, both here and beyond. I'm really excited to see the next steps after this. And I guess the final thing that we always do on an interview like this is shout outs and or hashtags social handles. It's 2021. Darling Debonair, what do you got?
Good
Tell
call,
folks
Terry.
where
Good call. Thank you.
to get all the things.
Terry.
My first shout out is to you.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being a
My
part of
pleasure.
this.
It's been great.
Dear new
It's
friend.
been- yes.
Yeah.
And old friend.
Yes, yes. I feel likewise that even though we haven't hung out for a long time, I feel like as soon as we connected, it was like you were saying about community. It's like, oh, here's my community right
Yeah.
here.
It
These
feels- Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
these are my people.
We've known
right
each
here.
other, I
Yes,
think.
yes, absolutely.
Um,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you. Other shout outs would be to everyone that supports us and that we're friends with, people that share our stuff, people that comment, people that yell, play one more song.
Yes.
People that, just, I'll take all the positivity and encouragement and support from anybody.
Yeah,
Shout-outs.
I mean, for the shameless plugs for our own socials, I would say follow us on Darling Debonair on Facebook and Instagram, and then if you want to see what we're doing at the studio level, look us up on YouTube at Better Understanding Studios.
Very cool. Well, it's just lovely to be here with you
I'm
guys.
excited.
I'm so excited for you, and thank you for allowing me to be here with you, and it's just a lovely part of my experience to get to hear some backstories and to hopefully create a little context for your media going forward, because I
Absolutely.
think the world is going to be ready for this music, and I'm excited to see where it takes you all.
We said literally the verbatim that earlier on our way here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the world is ready.
All right.
Yes.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Get on board.
Well, we sure appreciate you guys saying hello, checking
Thank you.
in with Darling and Debonair, Thomas, Claire. A lovely day in the studio to you. Great success to you.
Okay.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
just keep making that beautiful music.
Will do.
You can't be stopped.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Can't
See
stop.
you guys.
Bye.
Really, I got nowhere else to go. You must have been insane to treat me that way, and it's a damn shame. Yes, it is. 'Cause what I need from you